Alrighty, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Mini Paint Chill, where I mini paint and you chill to some awesome beats in the background. Today, we're just going to be kind of working on the commissions that I worked on Tuesday, but also we're going to be working on some other things as well. Specifically some characters that I wanted to get some work done on, and just some stuff that's going to help me get some glazing practice in, because I'm still having trouble figuring it out. But before I get started with that, a few quick things to get out of the way. One, if you aren't already following the channel, please do. If you're watching this on YouTube, hello YouTube, please subscribe on there. It's absolutely free to do so, and it would mean the world to me. If you'd like to financially support me, you can subscribe to the Twitch channel, or you can purchase something on my website, wheelersminis.com. Free ways that you can support me also are follow me on my socials at wheelersminis on pretty much everything. That's really it. I would appreciate the support. It means a lot to me. And yeah. So today, again, like I said, we're just going to be going over some stuff that I need to get done, specifically these commissions that I need to work on. I'm probably going to save those a little bit for later because I've already worked on them a little bit today. And I've got some characters that I kind of want to do some work on, so we're going to do that first. But yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy. If you got any questions, feel free to put them in chat. I will answer them as quickly as possible. But until then, just hang out. Thanks for coming and chilling with me, and I'm going to get started. Question is, who do I want to start with? I guess I could start doing some more work on Errett. Doesn't have as much work done on him. I've already got some gray from earlier on here. Yeah. First up, I'm just going to work on the base because I didn't do that last time. Besides getting some low gray on there, and I just want to kind of move that gray up. Originally, I thought about doing this in like earthen tones, but I think that the gray is going to look cooler and fit the color scheme of him a little bit better. I guess we'll see what happens as I paint him. For now, we're just going to start moving up the color of the stone. Leaving the undersides dark, and the sides that are more towards the light brighter. And then we'll work our highlights from there. I'm just kind of going up the gray family for the Fanatic line. So this is deep gray. The original was ironclad, the new one that came out in the John Blanche set. Okay, I've got these Cyberpunk models I'll probably work on a little bit later. Just want to start with some different stuff today because I have been working on them pretty consistently. And I want to work on character models. I did work on them, some of them today, some of the character models today as well, but I just want to start out with this. See how it goes. Should be. The small one will also give me a good idea of how the bigger one's going to be painted. But don't need to worry about that right now. So I'm pretty sure Banshee Brown is the brown I started with for his fur. If it's not, I'm foolish. And I'll probably end up doing like little lines to show off the idea that he has fur. But that'll be well down the line. Closer as I start to do. Okay, yeah, I did do his in Banshee Brown because this is nowhere near the same color. That bootstrap, that's why. This is the second one up. But even still, I can tell that the tone is different. I'm just working on some of the leather bits on him. We can get them a good color. I have a base coat on them. And then we'll move on from there, probably to start working on some of the armor pieces that he has on him. Although it's not actually armor, it's just kind of decorative. Still have some of the blue too that I will be using on him on the palette already because I was painting his counterparts earlier today. So we'll see what we can get to on him. minutes there, on. And I think I'm going to do similar to what I did with the other ones, where I do like a dark gray leather instead of your typical leather tone. Just to... I want them all to match in some way. So the blue is pretty consistent across all of them. And I think having that gray tone will be good. Have on all of them. Unless I did black brown on him. Which it's looking like I might have. Yeah, I think I did black brown on him to start out. Which is fine. That's a good base tone for pretty much any brown anyway. It's just I'm going to be going more ruddy on the brown, so I don't want it to... dictate too much. That Banshee Brown is where we're going to go next on his fur anyway. But before I get there, I'm going to start putting color on the little I can't think of the word. I'm so bad at using words at times. The fur trim on his outfit. doing drab brown on it right now because my plan is to move it up to like a white, or at least an off-white, like an ivory. So having a bit of a brown undertone is preferable, at least for me in that case. I'm trying to be a little careful. Work on brush control at the same time. I think that's also important. One of the benefits of painting with Pro Acrylic 2 is their stuff is already pretty thinned down, so since it landed on a part of the palette that had a little bit of water left over from it from when I refilled it, this stuff is going to be on that palette probably for a while without having any issue with drying, which is really nice. Again, just being careful right now not to get any over brushing on anything. I'm probably going to go back over this with some kind of wash later. I still just want to be careful. You're not so careful that you're, you know, making it so that you're not getting any progress done because you're worried you're going to be hitting something else. But you're doing your best not to get any of a color that's not supposed to be somewhere in a place where it's not supposed to be. So it just ends up taking a little bit more time, so that's okay. We got 2 hours to go. Plan on stopping soon. Blue in there. Just missed. I haven't checked on it in a while because I'm kind of taking a break from my character creation streams, but this gauntlet, I believe, is a newer asset. Which is exciting. Always exciting when new things pop up on character creators. Come back over, make sure I hit everything, and it's got a good coat. Now, the legs have some of it on it. And again, we're doing this drab brown because I will be kind of moving it up to an ivory. So having this kind of brown, light brown undertone is good. Because ironically, originally I was going to use like a bone, but I think that this will work better and looks more like a natural fur. So, win-win. The fur is only coming out of the bottom of the leg greaves though, so it's a little bit easier paint. Okay. Remember if I said I was going to make his horns black or not. Let's just get in some color. Also, it's kind of fitting. I think a barbarian wouldn't care about the fashion trends. If it's just about matching your party, probably just put something on that matched it. And again, this stuff isn't really armor, it's just aesthetic. I think we're gonna make some of it metal. And make that kind of like Gambison texture, that gray that I'm talking about. And then do my best to make sure it doesn't look like non-metallic metal, because it's definitely not metal. On the arms. Again, just getting some bass tone on them right now. It's hard to spot the thing I'm looking for on a palette that's already filled with leftover remnants of things. I think that's all the pieces on the leg. Now I get to look over and see if I missed anything. Doesn't look like I did. Now we're gonna move on to metallic. I'm really digging this dark silver by Pro Acryl. I think it's just got a really nice feel to it, and it is a good foundation for silver metals. Just try to edge highlight the little bands and things. Make sure that the parts that need to be silver are silver and the parts that aren't. Completely. Actually, I don't know if that's probably metal. Some parts I'm not going to be able to hit because of the way that the model is, but I'm going to do my best. Again, because it's just such a good base tone for like all silvers, and I plan on making this weapon a steel weapon. It's just a really good base tone for it. And because you want things to match across the model, usually you'll paint the metals all the same in some way, shape, or form. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Most of the love is going to be paid to the top part of the weapon. It's still important to make sure that the bottom part gets its due. Well, yes. I completely missed the... metal spikes on his armor I just completely missed. Now we're just putting some Grimdark Shadow on here to help kind of like catch the recesses on the metal bits and the darker leather bits. Do the same thing on the weapon. Gonna be less careful with it though. Really want this to catch it and get real nice and dark and gross. Moving on to strong tones, so we can start getting some shadow in the browns. Strong tone is going to be kind of most closely related to your like earth shade. That's why we're going with this one now, because one, the darker fur lends itself to being more of an earth shade shade, I guess, so to put it. And it ends up looking better on the leather too. So, being careful not to mix the two washes. Honestly, it probably would have been better to wait until the other one was dry, but I thought we could two birds, one stone it and see if we can just get it all in one pass. We'll see how it turns out, but should be fine. Oh no. Ow. What did you do?
I made soup.
Oh, that's fine. Thank you. Can you put it behind me real quick?
Put it behind.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you.
I wouldn't recommend eating it now.
Not really that this skin tone or his fur really needed to be any darker, but honestly just easier kind of get all of this in one fell swoop. Oh, painting. Yes, I'm painting. Only negative thing about washes sometimes is they tend to just leave a really satin finish, which is not always what I want. But honestly, that's fine. At the moment, it's looking pretty good. But we'll see how it is after it dries. But he's got a good base coat on him so far. He's looking pretty good. Exciting. Alright. Now for the interesting part. I'm gonna do some transparent black over here. This is where it gets fun. If good old Wheelie can do the thing that he said he wanted to do. We're gonna go on this guy first, just to give a good idea of what it will look like. Now what I'm attempting to do is glaze over the work I've already done with the purple to try and bring it down. The issue is I'm just not very... good with glazing yet. It's getting there though. Like I can see how it's supposed to work. It's just making that happen consistently. That looks good. Maybe I just don't have contrast enough. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It'll work. hate the way that that looks, which is a good sign. Oh. Still working on the glazing. I had to do this for all 6 of them because that's how I decided to do the armor, because I thought it would look better, which I think it does, again, because it's a newer thing that I'm still kind of working on getting better at. Probably not gonna look perfectly how I want it to. Okay. 30 minutes left. I think this is looking pretty good. It's just hard to tell sometimes, especially again when it's something that I just haven't done a lot. I don't have a good frame of reference for what it's supposed to look like besides what I see it does for other people. And it seems to be doing that thing. But I just can't tell. Really out the blend nicely, and that's kind of what it's supposed to be doing, so. Do one more and see how I feel about it. The reason I'm touching the brush is because I'm trying to get most of the moisture off. Those glazes are supposed to be very thin, but if you have them too watery, they end up being more like washes than anything else, and I was doing that on accident. I was making them basically washes. I wasn't actually properly glazing. I'm just waiting until that kind of bloom of liquid falls off, and then we're pulling the glaze across and having it sit where we lift our brush is where most of that paint is going to come off. So you want to be moving it towards the shadows to get a good effect. Much. Ideally, you want to let your glazes dry between layers, and that can range depending on where you're at. Because I live in a dry ass state, it's not taking as long for them to dry, so the person that this commission was very kind and like, you can take artistic liberty, blah blah blah, but made it very clear that they like purple, so I really wanted to tie that into the scheme as a whole. That's what we're doing. We underpainted with purple, and now we're just kind of glazing over it to darken it up, because the other request was making the armor black. What we're doing, painting very, very thin layers over harsh highlights, and hopefully achieving the desired effect. Again, so far is going at least somewhat decently well. So it seems. Honestly, there's a part of me that thinks that it might not be helping that I'm using a shop towel as my paper towel. It might have been a better option just to go regular paper towels. It might be absorbing too much liquid. But we'll see. The other thing might just be a lack of paint on the palette. Yep, that. Just running out of paint on the palette. Now we're getting a good coverage color. Good deposit of the black. Again, ideally you want to be moving, taking the brush off the mini where the shadows are, because that is where the most paint will be dropped. And the idea is normally, again, you're not doing something like this where you're just darkening it immensely, but because of the commission, that's why it's working out this way. You know, normally you would do certain like gradients to get up to a specific point, but again, because this is supposed to be black armor and I'm just adding kind of like a purple texture to it, that's why it looks this way. Honestly, it doesn't look bad. I don't think it's the level that I've seen some glazing done, but for, you know, a second or third attempt at it, I think it looks pretty good. It's gonna have that little bit of shine coming through to show off the fact that it's probably like a polymer. And then once I start putting more details on it, it'll look even better. But I kind of like how dark it is. Go back and look at this and see if I can darken this up a little bit too. It's already pretty dark. They match. Yeah, they're actually pretty even. A little darker, but not by much. Oh yeah. Well, it's going better than I expected. It's pretty good, so. Sometimes it's hard to tell. You just don't know how good something's going. Feels weird. Sometimes it ends up working in your favor. Honestly, so far, I don't mind the look of it. It doesn't feel wrong. It looks pretty good, actually. And I think it's because it's like a matte texture that it's throwing me off, because I'm so used to having washes have like kind of a satin look. But with glazes, you get that kind of... You get the, texture of the acrylic paint, which tends to be matte, so it's just, I think that's part of what's throwing me off, is just being like, why does it look the way that it does when I'm not used to it looking like this? I don't think it looks bad. Comparatively, we're looking at, this is after the glaze, this is before the glaze. So I think the color is better and more along what I like. The transitions aren't as harsh as this is, which is the whole point of glazing. Same thing with this guy. He still has some of that like lightness on him that's showing the light, but it's not so intense you know, it's still something I'm getting better at, so it's not going to be perfect right away. I definitely need to either work on it or do some more research on it to get better at it, but I think for what it is and what my ability is, it's not the worst. More stuff to do on them. Oh. Okay. I did some on this one too, but I think I did the color started a little too high for it to glaze really well. So we'll see how that works. I think the big test is going to be when I start to do more skin tones. Getting a better idea of how that's going to work, because skin tones are the part that I really wanted to do some work on when it comes to like glazing and things. And I break up the color and things like that. Still gotta do some work on Tobias. I really do want to finish him, hopefully before I have all these guys that I need to work on. So we'll see what happens with what I want to work on personally when I have a commission. Yeah, it lightened up the transitions, and it still has that kind of good color to it. It's probably just something that I'm just gonna need to, like, one, work on obviously, but two, like, understand that it takes time and patience to do. It's very difficult for me because I have been speed painting so long. I don't know. We'll see. Got him at some point too. I thought he was going to be the easiest, but honestly, he's turning out to be more difficult than I imagined he would be. Diz is someone who I was like, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I've actually really enjoyed how she's turned out. So, I don't know. I think it's about that time for me to take a step away, though, so I can rest my eyes and then maybe come back to this a little bit later. And it's kind of good timing because we got 4 minutes or so left. I would be able to help with Pathfinder stuff, but I actually haven't played that system too much. It's just because I paint minis that are about it. But I'm sure looking up on YouTube any of how to play Pathfinder and stuff like that will give you more than enough knowledge on it. I'm sorry I'm heading out now, but hopefully that does help. I know that XP to level 3 just did a video on having their friends play Pathfinder, so maybe check that out. But yeah, sorry I can't be of more help. I just paint the things. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for me tonight. Had a lot of good work today. Again, hoping that I can make this feel good at the end of it. I think it feels good. I just have to actually like let it sit and then come back to it. But all right, that's gonna do it for me tonight. So if you aren't already following the channel, please do. If you have the financial ability to, consider subscribing or purchase something off my website. Follow me on all my socials at Wheeler's Minis on pretty much everything. If you're watching this on YouTube, which hopefully at some point I will get all of the previous streams I've done up on YouTube. If you could subscribe there, it's free. It would mean the world to me. Still trying to crack 100 subs on there. And I've got probably a good 300 hours of painting content from like the start of my painting career to now. So feel free to check that out. It's all free. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful night, a good weekend, and I will post pictures of things as they come in and finish. But that'll do it for me tonight. Again, I hope that you had a wonderful time. I will see you all next Tuesday, and next Thursday, which will be the last stream for a couple weeks because I'll be out of the country. But that's it. Have a great night. See you guys later, and enjoy your weekend. Bye.